a nigga fleshed out, big pack. If you want a verse, bring big rats. Bitchy and Italian, I know this shit be ready, and the nigga gonna call for his bitch back.
Yo, we live on the scene right now. I'm pretty fucking Leon.
And I'm Carissa Des.
And I'm Jarvis-Zilla.
Yes,
and we are here in Bremerton, Washington. We're just at a show, a K-Vibe show at Chaos Brewing Company. Do you live here in Bremerton?
Oh, no, not in Bremerton, but I'm out in Seattle.
Okay, cool. Oh, yeah. So is this your first time performing in Bremerton? Or?
Shit.
Yeah, I didn't even know this place existed, honestly. Yeah, I was like, yo.
I ain't know nothing about this.
Yeah.
They said it was like an hour away. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Is it an hour?
Yeah,
Oh, shoot.
It's an hour.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the music scene here in Bremerton?
Yeah, I think I met one guy or one group from Bremerton.
Yeah.
I thought they were pretty cool, but he said ain't not much going down here.
This is it. This is the show of the year.
It was honestly really cool to see, like K-Vibes, like showing love to, in proximity to Seattle, a close by city with some dope artists and with some good, pretty solid history and stuff. But I was hearing you earlier, bro, like you was really sliding on some of them tracks, bro. So I heard like a lot of like, it seemed like you were kind of like in the West Coast niche. Like it was very raw. I fucked with it a lot. It was like more the like the G shit that you hear in a lot of like, I don't know, like Sacktown, like it was. Where are you from? Are you from Seattle originally or?
Well, originally, I'm not even from America. I'm born in Africa, but
Oh, word, okay.
What part of Africa?
Liberia on the West Coast.
When did you move to the U.S.?
I was like about 2.5.
Okay, so have you gone back and visited over there at all?
No, I ain't go back yet, but I'm definitely planning to go back.
Are you
Okay,
a Liberian prince? Because I be running into a lot of Nigerian princes all the time in Portland.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Nigerian fucking royalty all over the place for, like.
Now I ain't no prince, but for sure when I go back, I'm definitely gonna be a prince now.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You gotta represent. You gotta show out. So I was gonna ask, like, what are some of your like bigger influences? As I was saying, I heard some different styles, but I thought yours was very unique. It had a lot of energy to it. So like, are there some artists that you kind of try to emulate, or you just like doing what feels most comfortable to you type shit?
Well, when I first started, I listened to a lot of Chief Keef.
I know
we sound very different, but
yeah.
I was like, he probably the one that got me into rapping. But I said when I really, got into music, I like T Grizzly.
Word, okay.
I kind of did that, stole a little bit off him, and then made my own. But other than that, it's just been off the top nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Nice. What do you like about the Seattle music scene, and what are some things that you like, and what are some things that you don't like about it that could improve?
Oh, I'll say I'm gonna start with what I don't like. I don't like how it's kind of like everybody's headbutting,
Really?
they're not really together out here in the Seattle music scene.
Word, okay.
So if we come together more, that would be awesome.
I like hearing that opinion because I feel like a lot of times, from what I've heard from the Seattle scene, maybe there's these specific niche groups, but they're like, oh yeah, it's all linked in, and I'm like, I think y'all might be capping a little bit because I think niggas would be more niggas would be on and more niggas would be showing up. Like it's the proof is in the pudding. Like I don't see all of Seattle represented in everything that I see with Seattle on the bill and stuff. So yeah. So what do you like about the Seattle scene, man?
What I like about the Seattle, I like little Mike Jack and his group.
Oh yeah.
I like their group.
Word.
And
I heard they're coming up right now.
Yeah. I just let it show love to my producers. Shout out Young Big, shout out Antoine Visions.
We love the producer love because a lot of producers don't get love. It's like a 50-50. It's an exchange. Even if you're using type beats, bro, it's like your voice and then the fucking beat. So you gotta show love where you can. But at the same time, I know there's a lot of times it's mutual. Like producers won't show love properly, or they'll try to dupe motherfuckers out of oh, like you made this song, now this is contract, you can't perform with it live type shit. So I'm a producer in myself, and I'm just like very like above board, like just trying to make sure, like as a producer, as a creative, just trying to make sure people actualize their full potential. That's what a producer's job is. It's not to go after the bands, it's not to do this and that. It's not about the cloud, it's about making the artist be their best self. So shout out your producers. That's dope.
Yeah. So what is kind of like your process for making music? Like how do you get inspired to like putting the song together? Like what is kind of like your process?
I would say for the most part, half of it is based on real life experiences, So like there was a time where I had writer's block because I was just in the house doing nothing.
Writer's block. Tell me about it.
So when I finally went outside, I was just back writing. I write more than I freestyle. I'm not. I'm kind of good, but I prefer my writing better.
Do you not? So you don't punch in then, or do you punch in with like different takes, or what's the process like that?
I just started punching in, but I used to just go one take, like one
Word,
take.
okay.
Yeah, I just used to one take.
Yeah. So how is punching in, like, did you just kind of do that because you hear that's like, you know, a lot of people doing that, or is it something that's more, have you found that it's like actually more helpful or comfortable for you to do that? Like how's punching in been for you after, you know, doing one take type shit?
From after one take, punching in is smoother. It makes the song sound smoother, and there's way less breaths. Which nowadays the listeners don't want to hear so many like.
Exactly. You know, the norm is punching in. Like you get anybody in the studio. Like my first session at my recording studio, we had 1,400 in there, and like my boss was, you know, mostly recording punk artists, mostly engineering like punk artists and stuff like that. And punching in was like foreign to them, and everyone was like, "Yo, like we punch it in, like we punch it in. Why are you doing the one?" You know, it's freaking out because like it's just such a, you know, it's like it fucked up their flow and stuff. So then once we started having them punch in, my boss realized like, oh, this is a really efficient way to do it, and it kind of opened my eyes too because I'm, you know, I would like punch in, but it'd be like, you know, like 4 bars or something like that. It wasn't like, you know, boop boop boop. It wasn't like, you know, fucking what's his name, Tron. What's the fucking what? Oh, Baby Tron. Yeah, I was like, because he's like the punching king right now. I think.
So can you explain to me how you punch in the studio?
For me, I
thought it was like you walk in, you punch card, walk out.
No.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I've heard of it before, but I don't like. Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
I say for me,
people who don't know what it is.
Okay, yeah, let me explain. Punching in, you just go, you know, however many bars, like 1 bar, you punch in, and then you do another bar, punch in, make it sound right, it's punching again. But I like to do one, like, I guess you could say one segment, you know, like maybe 3 bars, 4 bars, and then punch in after that. Because I like to kind of have my flow going. Yeah. I don't really like stopping every other bar.
Yeah. Stopping. Yeah. You want to figure, everyone figures out their own kind of lane with that. You know, it's like I was saying, I used to do like 4 bars, you know, but a lot of people do da-da-da-da-da. Stop. And it's kind of crazy to watch the process and stuff because you're like, this is gonna sound like shit, but then niggas play it out live or out loud, and it's like, oh damn, like it's actually like it sounds really sharp because there's not as many breaths. There's not, you know, it's like they're taking their time and they get to enunciate more, which is something I see a lot of artists not being able to do when they're doing the one take is enunciation. You know, breath control is like punching in allows you to have the full capacity of your breath every single time, so it just hits harder.
A lot of punching in, like you're putting more power into those. Those words or whatever. If you do a lot of punching in the studio, how does that kind of like when you're performing? How is it different? Like, does your song sound completely different, or is it like pretty close?
When I write my music, I write as if I'm not punching in, but I only punch in the studio to make it sound perfect and clear. Yeah. But when I write, I make it just one take. That's how I write, one take.
Okay. What inspires you, like when you're writing lyrics? Like, is it just any time during the day and then you put it in your notes app, or is it like
live experience? You were saying like live, yeah.
Live experience, and then like
so you're like going on a hike and then you're like, wait a minute,
going on
like
yeah, you can say something like that. Going on a hike, you know, doing activities or whatnot, and even just like hanging out. Sometimes, you know, you say some funny things with your homies. Yeah, anything.
You one of the first artists I talked to from Seattle that specifically said, you know, there could be more unity and stuff like that. How would you want to see that? Like, if you were to make that change yourself, if you were going to be the one of the people that was, you know, the engineer behind changing that scene, how do you think, like, what do you think would be an appropriate way to go about that? And that's a really broad question. So I don't expect like, oh yeah, so I was going to do this, but like, how do you think, you know, how would you want it to look? At the end of the day, how would you want the scene to look?
Maybe start with like the bigger artists since they have, you know, more power, more motion with them. Yeah, more influence. And then, you know, the little guys or the guys under them can work and, you know, lock in more with the other guys. Yep. All around. And then, you know, exactly. And then what the end goal would be like, you know how Juice the God was big in Seattle? Yeah. So I say like, except for, you know, one Juice the God and then, or 10 of money and then they get killed. How about there be like a lot of us, you know, 10 big guys that stand tall and, you know, talk about what Seattle really is. And like, I feel like that'll be like a whole group of Seattle. Cause wasn't Lil Mosey also from Seattle or something like that?
Yeah, he is. Yep. And then that nigga's gone. Like he's like, I'm out. Like, you know, there's a lot of people in the Northwest that get out. And
yeah,
like, I'm done. I'm out.
Okay. So I was talking to somebody about this the other day. that the same thing happens in Portland. Like there haven't been very many people who recently have made it out of Portland, and the people who do, I feel like, are like, fuck you, Portland, because it's like when you're first starting off, people are very supportive, but once you start getting any type of recognition, and it probably happens in Seattle too, people just want to tear you down, you know, because they don't want you to, they want you to like be a part of the scene, but they don't want you to be better than them. So then, you know, you get violence and shit like that. So then then that kind of motivates people to try harder to get out and like to be better, because they have like a lot of pushback. And then once they get out, they're like, you guys didn't support me in the end, so fuck you guys. So I feel like that's just from like talking to people, that's kind of like what the vibe that I'm feeling from.
In regards to that, like it's interesting because I have my perspective with artists that I've seen, you know, come out of Portland, like Amine and Dodger. Duckworth was in Portland for a while. A lot of people don't know Duckworth was out there for a while. I used to like, you know, host parties and he would pull up and stuff like that. And from what I experienced out there, and I still experience to this day, is niggas don't care about you until you are something. Yeah. You know, and that's a big, like, I feel like it's you know, most cities, most places are like that. Most business, unless you have a name, like people aren't gonna fuck with you. But I feel like Portland specifically is so much like that. Because as soon as you start making names, people are like, wait, maybe I do want to collab. Like, you know, when I got my brand ambassador gig at this recording studio, before niggas didn't want to fucking, you know, pull up, and then they realized I could get them studio time, I could do this, do that, and it was a fucking night and day change. Like when they saw that I could actually provide them with, you know, resources and stuff like that, and I was like, oh nigga, you were acting Hollywood before, you were acting real Hollywood.
Yeah, that's true too. But like, I mean, still, I don't really think that support or like those people, you know, are your friends or, you know, but they want something from you. So, you know, there's just like a lot of toxicity, I think. So yeah, like I've been saying, if we all come together, it's like once one of us goes up, then, you know, it will bring everybody around, or hopefully more people up around us too. Because then there's a spotlight on the Pacific Northwest. Because people are like, okay, somebody did something here. I guess there are good artists here. Kind of like Atlanta right now is really hot. New York drill is really hot right now. But what's going to be... What's going to be hot out of Portland? What's going to be hot out of Seattle, Tacoma, Bremerton? We'll see. Maybe this guy over here. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll be waiting.
I'll be the first Jarbazilla.
Yeah, that's right. Yo, we out here right now. Bremerton, Washington. You already know. On the scene, live. I'm pretty fucking young.
I'm Carissa Des.
Yeah.
I'm Jarbazilla. Jarbazilla.
Yeah, so all your socials. Yeah,
that's my social on all social media.
Okay. Great. And one more thing, we always ask, do you have any projects coming up that you want to talk about? Any singles, any albums, like anything like that?
Yeah, I just dropped one single called When I'm Gone. I performed it here. You know what I'm saying? I got another single coming out with my bro Woo Money. Okay, that's coming soon, probably next month. And I ain't planning on dropping no albums. Maybe a EP.
Yeah, I always tell people, don't drop albums until you got that buzz, man. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
You do it.
So I got a little buzz, and then I'll probably drop an album just like, you know, Lil Tyler did. But until then, it's just singles.
Yo, on the scene. You already know. Hey, thank you, man.
Hey, I ain't gonna cap though. This shit right here go like radio. Fuck up in this motherfucker. You ain't gonna cap.
Bremerton, Washington. We are on the scene. I'm Carissa Des.
I'm Pretty Fucking Leon, and we're here with the motherfucking one and only K-Vibes.
Let's get it.
Tonight, family. What's this event called? What we doing?
Hey, man, this is the K-Vibes YB Little Ho Summer Bash, man. We're turning up. We got hella great talent out here, man.
Right.
We definitely putting on for the city.
Tell us about the process for getting all these people together and shit. Like, what was that like?
Oh, man. First of all, I want to say big shout out to Lebo, because if it wasn't for Lebo, I wouldn't even know the formula at all. So big shout out to Lebo. And it was definitely a process getting everybody together, you know, hitting up artists, making sure they can showcase their talent in a timely manner, making sure they can put it down.
Punctual.
And of course, I had to get on the scene live out
Yes, sir.
here.
You know, we out here.
Thank you so much. You said this is your first show that you've done by yourself, right? That you've organized by yourself? And it's going great. There's a lot of people here. It's a really nice spot. Good food, good drinks, good people, great musicians. So how did you choose the artists tonight to be on the bill? Was it like a lot of local friends, artists who you thought were great artists and you just chose them? Or was it more like people knew that you had a show and then they kind of reached out to you for it?
Yeah, it was a little mix of both, actually. So we got a couple local people in here from Bremerton. We got antagonists out here. We got TX707. And we got a couple other local artists. But most of it, they saw we had a show going on. They hit me up and it was like, hey, how can I be a part of it? And I was like, I got you. So we got got some heavy hitters out here, man. They sleeping on Bremerton, but I'm trying to wake them up.
Deadass.
And there's only one band that I know that came from here that like really blew up that I knew of anyway. It was MXPX from the 90s.
Oh.
You know them?
Yes,
You do really? Okay.
have.
Because like a lot of people don't know about them, but if you're from here, then you can. It was like a pop punk, like Blink 182 style music, like kind of emo.
They
Yeah.
almost sound like Midwestern.
Okay.
And me and Des were having a talk in the car, and it's like, I feel like when you grow up in a more humdrum, low-key place, there's not really much to do but like make art and like, you know, like you kind of have to make the most of growing up in a place. It doesn't have a lot of eyes on it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is that how you feel? Is that how you felt like growing up out here? Did you grow up out here?
No, I didn't grow up out here, and that's what a lot of people they got a little bit of hate towards me because I didn't grow up out here. Yeah, but you know what? Exactly. At the end of the day, that's what I'm about. I'm about supporting other artists. I'm about to come up. I'm about to grind in the struggle and making sure people know your name, bro. So regardless if I'm from here or not, I'm definitely gonna put the city on.
No, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if a nigga came through, like, you know, I mean, a lot of niggas do come to Portland that didn't grow up there, and they're like actually trying to put on for the city. Like, you can't hate that. Like, would you want somebody to come through and then not do that? Like, wouldn't you prefer that somebody was coming through and trying to like show respect, get artists, Bremerton artists on the bill, which is what you're doing,
right?
So I'd be like, all right, you get your pass, you good, like, you know, like.
Hey man, I try. We got a lot of hidden talent in the city in Fayetteville, just like a lot of hidden talents in Bremerton, man. You just gotta bring them out.
Why did you decide to put on a show?
Oh man, I just definitely
Why
wanted
would you
to.
ever do that?
I wanted to put on for the city. I wanted to put on for myself, make sure they can showcase themselves as well as me, and just trying to show love. And I just want everybody to come out and have a good time.
I mean, you just doing this alone, like I'm like, okay, Bremerton's like got a scene, like it's something.
Yeah, this is my first time actually like kicking it in Bremerton, and you know what? I might come back after this because like I feel like there's a lot of love from the community, and so far like all of the artists have been really good, like I said. So do you have any new songs out or like any new projects that you're working on now? I know like Inyo City, is that one of them? And then Goodies as well. Those are my two favorite songs by you, but you have some new ones coming out?
Yeah,
I can't not dance. I can't not shake my booty to those songs. Like, it's inevitable. Like it just happens.
That's what we like to hear. Now we turning up.
Yeah, the double negatives. You know when the double negatives come out, you know shit's real, man.
But yeah, we got some new projects coming out. I got another feature with Hank Drew coming out, so make sure to look for that. I got a feature with Grimy Tay coming out, so make sure to look for that. I got a feature with Sin coming out, so make sure to look for that. We definitely turning up. Make sure to stay on the lookout. Make sure to stay tuned.
Yep, stay tuned. And how can we find you on social media?
I'm on all platforms. You can Google K-Vibes. You can find me on Instagram, K-Vibes Music. Find me on Twitter, K-Vibes_. And find me on Snapchat, K-Vibes Dub. And before I say anything else, man, I want to give a big shout out to Cosmetics Apparel. He made the drip that I have on right now.
I was looking at
Look,
That's that's sick.
work, I'm saying. So
I like how you can like peek a little bit of your like the little holes right there. That's cool. I like it.
Right, definitely check them out.
Good summer wear.
I always try to support my homies making music on Instagram. Yeah, don't forget to support your local artists.
Hey, for sure.
Oh, I actually forgot about that. How old is yours? You have a daughter, right?
I have 2 daughters.
2 daughters. Okay. How old are your kids?
My oldest, she's 6, and my youngest, she's about to be 3. September.
Okay. Shout out to the K-Vibes babies.
I can't even go on without saying rest in peace to my son, who passed away when he was 8 months. Rest in peace to my king. Everything that I do, I'm doing it for my baby boy. So let's go.
You said that you dedicate everything to your son. What is something else that drives you to create music?
That's a good question. I've been waiting for that one actually. So I'm trying to change my family legacy. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the money. It's not about getting rich and famous. It's about
That'd be nice though too, but
well, yeah,
that's not what it's all about.
Yeah, for sure. But it's about my family having credibility, you know what I'm saying? My family came from nothing, literally nothing. So I'm just trying to make a way so that generations behind me can go up and say, hey, my dad or my grandfather, my great-great-grandfather paved this way for me to be great.
A lot of artists make music to like make a quick buck, or they like just want to get famous real quick, but I think the ones that last and that really make it and make a career out of it are the ones who are like wanting or who want to have a legacy and are really just passionate about the work, you know?
Yeah, we in this motherfucker tonight. God damn, y'all still having a good time in this bitch? Yeah, that's what I like to hear, goddamn. We turn time, man. Hey, thank y'all, everybody, for coming out and showing support to all these wonderful motherfucking artists.
Yo, what the fuck is good? We out here on the motherfucking scene live.
What's good?
We here.
We're at Chaos Bay Brewing, baby,
That's right.
here in Bremerton, Washington.
That's right.
I'm Carissa Dez.
I'm pretty fucking Leon, and we're here with
MVP Nick.
Yes, sir. This is a familiar face.
Call him the little homie.
Yeah, the little homie. Yes. Des.
Because you're only 16 years old, right?
That's right.
15.
You're only 15.
Good
I've been
Lord.
telling everybody you're 16 years
Young
old.
blood out here, man, making moves, making waves. We
Yep.
love to see it.
I see you out here. You're working hard.
Yep.
When I was 16, actually, I was doing a little rapping, but I wasn't going hard like you are, you know, like you're putting in the work for sure. Boots on the ground. And I actually met you because K-Vibes and I started Live at 5 on Wednesdays where we did music reviews. And you would come on almost every week with your flows. And a lot of times you would come on with like unfinished music or like new songs that came out, and you were like, and I think that's very brave because a lot of people like don't really want to put out their music or like, you know, put it out there to the world until it's completely finished, but you're like, you know, what do you think about it? So I thought that was very brave of you to like put it out there before it was even finished. And I always admired like your flow. You have such a good flow where it just seems like it just comes out naturally. So I'm gonna give you props for that. How long have you been making music for?
I've been doing it about 3 years.
Okay, since you were 12. Okay.
I started with the Bridge Project.
The what?
The Bridge Project in Tacoma.
What's that?
Okay, so it's like a program where they like help you and like they right?
Okay.
And then they at the end they let you perform in front of a lot of people. Actually, an artist that came today, Lil Yo, he was at the Bridge program.
Little Yo?
Yeah. And I got him a part of the like this. I got him into this stuff where I made K-Vibes and I got him connected to K.
Would you say that K-Vibes is kind of like a mentor for younger artists coming through, or?
Yeah, he's like my older brother in this industry. He's been helping me walk through this, like, tells me if I'm going up.
Yeah.
Like,
tells you what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right. How did you meet him?
How did I meet him? I met him at the Portland show.
Okay.
The Corn Tour show?
Yeah.
Where, are you from out here, or are you?
No, I'm from Tacoma.
Tacoma? Word. Okay. Word. So what's the scene out in Tacoma like for like a younger artist like you know? Because like you can't go to bars, you can't do like you gotta go to the all ages joints. There's not a lot of all ages shit, you know. Like, you know, it's not very accessible. So it's good to see you out here doing what you gotta do. Yeah.
Bremerton, Portland,
Yeah.
Seattle.
Yeah, no, it's crazy though. You're making the moves like a lot of people, especially at your age, you know, aren't willing to do, you know. So, how'd you get your I was hearing how you kind of got your start in music, but was there any artists or people that influenced you to make music? Like, who's your bigger idol?
So like, how I started writing music was it started with when I went in a music video with my uncle.
Okay.
My uncle used to do shots and shit, and then he asked me to be the younger version of him.
Oh, word. Okay, that's pretty dope.
Yeah. When it happened, it was like, I want to do this.
Yeah, okay, you felt this, yeah.
Something to tell my story.
Okay.
Yeah. His mom's supporting. And what's your name? Vicky? Nice to meet you. Your son is a great artist.
Congratulations.
I love that you're coming and supporting because, you know, kids are going to listen to this type of music and make this type of music anyway. So to try to like stop them, it's like they're just going to do it somewhere else. So why not like support us? Yeah.
See what he's doing and
You'd rather do it at home so you can like support him and see what
I want to be there. I want to make sure that he gets to do what he wants to do. I don't want to be like, oh, you can't do that. That's not what you're going to do. And then you leave and then he's going to do it anyway. I'd rather be there to support that journey.
Keep that same energy, tryna slide through when I'm middle West corny, guys that's live. Bitch, I be handing out spankings, cause I drop hit after
3, 2.
My name is Cameron. That's the name that I go by.
Do you live here in Bremerton or?
I actually am based in Seattle right now.
You're based in Seattle? Okay.
I'm actually gonna be back and forth from Seattle to Arizona pretty soon. But right now I'm based in Seattle, and I'm just trying to spread awareness, get my name out there, connect with as many artists and as many people as possible. In this music industry, you know, and it's really work right now.
now in my hometown.
So how can we find you to listen to your music after the show?
So my music is on all platforms. You're gonna search DAMBRT on any streaming platform. I have a new project out right now that's called Bad Cravings. And
Bad Gravy?
Shout out.
Bad Gravy. Like the gravy gone bad?
no, cravings.
Bad.
Those cravings.
Oh, okay. I thought you said bad gravy, like the gravy gone bad. But okay. Yeah. So what are your bad cravings? If you don't mind me asking. Maybe that's a personal question, but maybe it's French fries.
It's something I really dig into on the project. I feel like a lot of things, just as human beings, we seem to crave certain things that are not necessarily good for us,
Yeah.
but something that we desire, and we all have desires, right?
Yeah,
So for me, that was, this recognition or just having someone else to confide in me and to build me up. Those are bad cravings. You can have weed, like in the cover. I actually have a bottle, and I have, you don't want to depend on, or you don't want to crave anything that's not going to benefit you as a person. And at a point in time, I was doing that, so that's what I talk about in the project.
Yeah.
It's an R&B project, and it's
Right.
a lot of love songs.
I love that. There's not enough R&B out there, honestly. We need some more love-making
There's
music out
a lot
there.
of
But
plug-in beat right now.
like you were saying, not all cravings are bad. Like sometimes we
True
just
that.
crave love from our friends even. But then sometimes we crave like alcohol, like so.
Hierarchy of
Yeah,
needs, man. There's a pyramid of needs, man. You gotta
yeah.
certain amount of needs you gotta fulfill.
Yeah.
And whatever those needs are, they're all valid. It's like
Yeah.
every human has their own trajectory and shit. So
But I think it's sometimes in relationships, we depend on a person a little bit too much.
Oh yeah, like being codependent. Yeah.
I don't want it to be like love is bad, drinks like that, but
It can be with the wrong person, I guess. But
there's
yeah.
aspects of relationships that are commonplace that are actually toxic. People don't talk about it enough.
Sometimes people crave like toxic relationships, and that's not
I
always
would
a good
say
thing.
most people do, honestly. Like some level, like not overtly, like they don't want it to be toxic, but you will have certain cravings that they don't really know might be healthy. Yeah, exactly.
Rush when you don't know what the fuck is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so you just keep going
Dive right
for it.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's definitely a learning experience for sure. But
I was listening to this one. I forgot who it was. It was a psychologist, and they were talking about the sensation of butterflies in your stomach. They were saying that's actually a trauma response, and it's actually your body saying this is a bad idea. Like the butterfly response is anxiety. It's not like a happy thing. It's like this person is exciting, but not necessarily in a good way. Like it's not that if you have butterflies, it's like fight or flight activating. So if you feel that shit, you better be careful.
But then at the same time, like people, a lot of times you do need to get past something that you kind of fear, So there's like, I don't know. It's like, to me, it's like half gut feeling, and then also like the other half is your brain. Like you have to use both. Like you can't just use one or the other. You know what I mean? Talk a little bit about cravings and like relationships. What else inspires you to create music?
And honestly, music is it's a release for me. It's how I found my voice. Growing up, I even talked about it in one of my songs. Growing up, I was a really quiet child. I was really quiet. I didn't really talk to people. I wasn't as open as I am now. So I think that music really opened up the ability for me to speak my mind, for me to express myself without it having to be like a conversation. Would it being something that I actually like? So it's a very easy way for me to express myself.
Yeah. Do you like performing on stage?
Yeah, I like performing.
Okay.
I need to perform more. I'll say that. But yeah, I love performing. I started performing actually last year. I had my first show. And so, like ever since then, I just been like booking, just trying to get out.
Well, this has been On the Scene. I'm Carissa Des.
I'm pretty fucking Leo.
And my name is Embry. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yep, and we are here at K-Vibe Show in Bremerton, Washington.
And that was it. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. That's probably the best interview I've had.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Hey, this for the topic, nigga.
Shout out to motherfucking Sin on this goddamn.
Shout out to nigga Sin, man. He come through.
I had to bring y'all to the scene, have y'all on the scene.
We're always on the scene.
On top of it. We are at the scene.
Yep.
On it.
Yeah.
Yeah.